Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. So this is an update for the Voice of America collection. I've uploaded a couple videos about the collection. The last one I did was probably the one worth seeing. If you've not seen that video, go watch that video. It's just talking about like what the Voice of America is, where it came from, all that stuff.
All right, so to kick it off, I did take a pretty cool walkthrough video, like when I was maybe halfway done with the process of just like showing things that the owner wanted to keep for his collection, some really killer stuff that he was selling me duplicates of, all the library records that I bought, some really cool stuff. So this walkthrough, it just shows like where we're at in the process. So how I'm processing everything, how it's all working. So here is the walkthrough video that I took while I was there. I was probably like halfway through my trip. Hey guys, back at Ground Zero, the Voice of America collection. Sorting through things, got here last night, and well, yesterday afternoon, I guess, and dug all day till 9 p.m. Then now I've been here all morning. It's about 3 o'clock p.m. and I'm still digging, finding some great stuff. I just bought his library section. I'll show you that here in a minute. But I want to show you some of the things that he kept for himself in his personal collection. You know, this is some of the rock stuff that he is sifting through and holding on to. Some jazz mixed in there as well. Here is all the impulses. And then it's crazy. This is all different jazz labels, and there's a little bit of rock in there mixed in, I think. More down there as well. Let's see, this is all jazz too down here. Like, you know, we've got some Miles Davis promos. So anyways, in the rock stuff, it kind of broke my heart to see there was a bunch of stuff in here that I really wanted to keep, but he is sifting through what he wants to keep and what he wants to sell, so we'll see. But let's see, here's the Black Saint stuff. It's all that stuff. And then this is all more jazz. This is the Limelight stuff. I don't even know there's some Atlantic stuff. Anyways. Oh wow, that Dorothy Ashby. I shouldn't be looking at this stuff. This is like Flying Dutchman stuff. And these are like blue notes that he's got. Let's see here. Lots of crazy stuff. I just bought these Mosaic box sets from him. These are also all blue notes right here. So all kinds of killer stuff. This is stuff that he's cleaned, that he's definitely keeping, and then the rest of the stuff he's kind of like filtering through to figure out which copies that he wants to keep and which copies he wants to sell. So what's going on now is these are some that he's going through that he's filtering out copies that he wants to keep and copies that he wants to sell. So like this, for instance, this Undercurrent. This is my stack that he's kind of let go of some things. So this Undercurrent is going home with me. And so now I've gone through everything and basically picked out the stuff that is usable for the shop, and the rest of it will be donated to Goodwill. That's kind of a look behind the process of this trip. I've got one more row to go through and then I'm done. But this trip, the goal has been to go through every record, look at every record, and make sure that there's nothing else that I need for the shop. I'm tired. It's been a long couple of days, but I've picked out anything that I think we can use at the shop, and everything else just will be donated to Goodwill. But yeah, so I'm picking out anything that we can use, even if it's just something we sell for $5. Anything that the shop can use that we'll sell, and then everything else will be donated to Goodwill. So they're working on that now. Tomorrow morning, I think I'm gonna load my truck with stuff, and then they're gonna load another truck that's heading to Goodwill. So they're trying to clear out some space in here and all that stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching. This is some of the stuff that's coming home with us. Man, I got a crazy story I'm probably gonna tell in the future about this record. Yeah, some really solid stuff. Psych, jazz. Look at that, Willie Hutch. 2 copies of this, David Axelrod. This is a record I've wanted an original of for so long. Stoked to get one. Forest, some like folky prog. Shuggy Otis, Robert Savage. So there's a lot of psych in this box. I think now it's picking up on jazz. But yeah, this is kind of one of the more killer boxes. That battered ornament's beautiful. But yeah, so this is some stuff I'm kind of processing through. Like, these crates are things that he was gonna keep, but he had doubles of. So after he realized he had doubles, because he's cataloging them in his Discogs account, he's able to hand them off to me, and I am gonna make him an offer on the things that he's not keeping. So these are the library records that I bought. If you are familiar with KPM, these are all KPMs right here. All these are KPMs. So a bunch of different, very cool labels in here, library stuff. And then if you're familiar with the Brutons, these are all Brutons back here. Great library label. And then if you're familiar with the Conroys on the 2, a lot of really cool stuff. These are those themes. Let's see. There's some DeWolfs. And then like over here, I got boxes and boxes of the Brutons. These are all Brutons. All those are Brutons. All these are Brutons. And then these are other various libraries, but some really good. All right, now we're gonna sit down and I'm just gonna explain everything to you, kind of a little bit more of a long form discussion, but where we're at in the process now and what the future looks like for this collection and for us.
Quick disclaimer before we get started on this video. I hate to even say this. I will say, first of all, we've had a tremendous response to the last video we did on social media, on here, emails, all that stuff. And most people have been really complimentary, very nice, and respected the boundaries that we've set up. So because everybody's interested in getting a piece of this collection, we've had some people, like I mentioned in the last video, don't call the shop, ask them, because these are how you can get them. We're putting them off in the shop periodically. You can follow us on Instagram to see when it's going out and what's going out, because we do flip videos, everything we're putting out. Or if you're not local, you can buy them on Whatnot. All the links are in the description of this video and pinned in the top of the comments. That's the way you can get it online. That's the only way you can get it online. We're not putting it on eBay. We're not putting it on Discogs. We're having like hundreds of emails, phone calls saying, hey, I saw in there that you had this David Allen Coe record. Can you ship it to me? I'm in Alabama or whatever. And I'm like, we can't, like, that's not the way we're doing it. It was just, it's too complicated. We can't do that. And so, I mean, even people are calling an email and saying, hey, with that many records, I'm sure you have this record. And they ask us about some random record. Like, these are hundreds of thousands of records, and I got to go find that one that you're looking for. We're not doing any of that. So, anyways, I just want to reiterate that, because it's been really, I know it's funny, but it's been really frustrating. Like, I'm not at the shop right now. I'm kind of in and out. I come in and out to kind of check on things, but mostly I am at home, pricing records 24/7. So if you call a shop, you're not going to get me. And Logan is not really involved in this collection, so he doesn't really know what's going on. So he's not going to be able to tell you anything, and we're not. So all you need to know is we're putting them out in the shop. Follow us on Instagram to see what's going on in the shop. Follow us on Whatnot. We're putting them on Whatnot. That's it. So thank y'all. And then also, I've probably had like 40 or 50 record stores begging me to sell them wholesale, which is insane to me. I don't know why I would go through all the trouble and hard work to get these things and to just make no profit and just sell them to you wholesale. Makes no sense to me, but I've had 40 or 50, literally 40 or 50 record stores reach out to me saying, hey, it's not fair that you get this many records. Can you share with us? And I won't get into that, but we're just not doing that, okay? This has been really very time-consuming, expensive. We've put a lot of time and resources and effort into getting this stuff, and so we're gonna take. As you can see with our record store and our whatnot, we don't have any problem selling records, so I don't need to wholesale the stuff out. So I'm sure you understand. I hate to even have to if it sounds negative, all that stuff, but it's all a result of this collection being so great and so awesome, and people wanting to get a piece of it. So thank you for sitting through that disclaimer. Now let's get to the fun stuff. So when I make these videos, I am not good at making videos. You would think, oh, you're a YouTuber, you're great at this. I'm not. When I'm in a situation where I'm going through records, my priority is the records, always. I don't ever think about, oh, I better film this. Like, I just don't. I brought my tripod up there to film. I never used it once. So I recorded videos when I thought about it, which was here and there, few in between. I did one really good video I'll try to put it up tomorrow, but it was like basically some jazz grails and sight grails that we bought. And so I'm down there digging them out and showing. That's going to be a really fun video. So don't miss that one. It's probably coming out tomorrow. But I shot a little bit of video here and there, and so I'm going to show that to you. So in that video, it's just me kind of explaining the process of what we're doing and showing what's there. And then I'm showing you like the wall of stuff that the owner is like keeping and sifting through and pulling out one good copy of each thing to sell the doubles to me later. So that's the videos that you're going to see. But this is mainly just like trying to describe to you the process of this collection and where we're at in it and an update on that. So I went maybe, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I did my initial dig. I really only had one solid day of digging to go through that collection, and I did that, and I pulled out the best stuff I possibly could. I mean, it was too many records. I didn't have enough time. So it was like, including LPs and 45s, it was well over 100,000 records. So I didn't have time to look through everything. I looked through about half of it. So it was my intention, and I'd spoke to the gentleman that owned the collection, my intention to come back very soon to dig through the rest of it. And as soon as I could, I went back, which was this past week. So it was like a 2-week gap. I went back and I had 3 days pretty much. I had 1 full day and 2 half days, so I guess I had 2 days. But to look through and dig through everything. Basically, he has been planning like how he wants to process this collection. He bought the collection at auction in, I believe, May, and he's had a few different phases. I've been in communication with him since then. The first phase was he wanted some jazz guys to come help him process through the collection. So there's a channel called 10 Minute Record Review. It's a good like jazz resource, jazz channel. He had been watching his channel, so he had contacted him, and the guy from that channel went down with some buddies, and they all helped him go through the jazz stuff, pulling out all the notable jazz labels and stuff that you'd need to curate like a top shelf jazz collection, which he did. In the process of that, they donated 20,000 records that I never saw. It was, they said it was Al Hurt and, classical stuff, stuff that, nobody would be really interested in that much. Maybe some like Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass and stuff like that. I don't know. I wasn't there. But donated anything. And so they basically went up to 1970. And anything they thought they could sell, they set aside in a different room for a record store to come look through. That was me. So they did a great job doing that. And he actually posted a video on his channel. And I'll link it in the description of this video that you should check out. Very good. And he was there in the beginning. So if you see his video, there's more records in the room when he starts. And so they went through everything. I don't think they bought anything or anything like that. They just kind of helped him curate his jazz collection and stuff like that. So then when I came in, there was still maybe 40 or 50,000 LPs that were not gone through, that nobody picked anything out of. And so I went through a bunch of those, a lot of those. I don't know how many. Plus, I had to go through I think they probably had 7,000 or 8,000 records that they had set aside for a record store to look through. Now, I went through all that stuff, and I picked out most of it to bring home. And they did a great job. Like, I was worried, like, these guys are jazz guys. I don't know how much they know about folk and rock and stuff, but they had set aside, like, obscure stuff that was good, psych stuff that was good. Like, I feel like they had a pretty good eye. They said in their video that they had, donated all the 101 strings things, and I was like, no, because there's the one. And they actually didn't miss it, and they set it aside, and I ended up getting it for my own collection, the Astro Sound. It's like the psychedelic 101 strings. It's the only one you really need to pay attention to if you're a digger. But anyway, so I think they did a really good job, and they went through that stuff, and they posted a video about it. So that video was really helpful to me because the owner of the collection, I had talked to him on the phone a bunch. But talking to him on the phone and going there is two different things, and you never know what you're walking into. And their video kind of helped me see what the situation was going to be and all that stuff, and it made me feel really good about driving all the way up there. It's a big gamble to rent a truck, a 20-foot truck, and drive up somewhere not knowing if you're going to be able to put anything in it. It's expensive and time-consuming. And it's a 6-hour drive one way for me, so I appreciate them for doing that video and all that stuff. So then after I went through most of the collection, and I made a deal with him. I bought, I think I ended up with 13,000 records, something like that the first time. And that was the stuff that they had, the 10-minute record review guy and his buddies had set aside, plus the stuff I was able to get through. So there was maybe I don't know, another 30,000 or something that I hadn't gotten to see. I don't know how many. There was a bunch. It's hard to tell because not all the boxes are totally full, and I'm not going in there just counting boxes, so I don't know. So this time I had my work cut out for me. I went in and I started digging, and so basically I had seen everything on the last time from the 50s all the way up to 1975, and I started running out of time. So then I went to the newest, which was 1991-ish. That's what I was seeing, and went backwards to 1985. So anything between 75 and 85, I didn't see. And then there was a couple other pallets I didn't get to, and there's kind of stuff everywhere. So this trip, my goal was to leave no stone unturned, look through absolutely everything. So like they did on the first time around, and they donated 20,000 records to Goodwill. He was going to donate the rest of these to Goodwill as well, but he wanted me to go in there and really go through them with a fine-tooth comb and pick out anything that I could use for the shop. And I spent my time as well as I could, and I looked through, not only did I look through everything that I hadn't seen before, but I also looked through everything that I had seen before and even picked some stuff out because I'm like, well, if it's getting donated to Goodwill, I'm going to go ahead and pick it out. And, so last time I probably skipped over some $5 stuff, when you're digging for a shop, stuff comes in the store nonstop, like Billy Joel, Simon Garfunkel, James Taylor, Joe Walsh. I'm just spitballing, but stuff like that, it comes in the droves every single day. So you don't really go out of your way to get it. It's always just there. It's always around. But this time, they're all really clean, and I'm like, well, screw it. It's from this really iconic collection. I'll just grab every single possible thing that I would sell. And so, you get a lot of records in the shop. Well, I do, and at that volume, some of it's $3 records, some of it's $1 records. It still might sell, but they're just cheaper records, and it takes a lot of time to go through them and all that stuff. So pretty much anything that's under $5, I think I can sell for under $5. I don't really pay much attention to, and so all that stuff, anything that's probably worth under $5, I just didn't. I didn't waste time with it. So but anything absolutely anything I thought that was worth $5 or more, I grabbed it, and it was. I bought pallets and pallets and pallets of stuff. So back the truck up, we loaded it up this time. I don't know how many I ended up with between last trip and this trip, somewhere between 20 and 30,000 records that I bought for my shop that I have now. And I'm working through them, pricing them out. I've sold maybe probably not that many. I've probably sold a few thousand records out of that collection already. But we're putting them out as fast as we can at the shop, and we're doing whatnots. So in December, I'm going to try to do whatnot every Sunday. I don't normally do them on Sundays, but Sundays I have more time, and it's better. So stop what you're doing right now if you're not local. and you want some of these records, go on Whatnot. I've got my link pinned in the description of this video. If you use my link, you can get $15 off your first purchase if you're not signed up yet. So if you want to sign up with that link. You get $15 towards your first purchase, whether it's from me or somebody else. We have a buy it now section in there. You can buy a t-shirt, you can buy a slip mat, you can buy stickers, even if, so you can get some free stuff. Even if you don't want to bid on anything or anything like that, you could still go in there and watch it and buy some cheap stuff from my buy it now section. So anyways, so I've said this in my last video. I'll say it again in this video. Sorry, this creaking is this desk I've got right here. The Whatnot is where, if you're not local and you can't come into the shop, that's where you're going to be able to find some stuff online. I'm not putting anything on Discogs. I'm not putting anything on eBay. I'm not selling directly, sending invoices and all that. I just don't, it's so many records I don't have time. So Whatnot is really the best way for me, the most convenient way for me, and probably the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I have local guys knocking down my door. I got online people blowing up my DMs, and so that's the way we're doing it. So this time, at this phase, the motivation for this, like I said, was to clear out everything I could so everything else could be donated. I've had a bunch of people send me messages. What Goodwill do they donate them to? Can you imagine rolling up a huge box truck full of tens of thousands of records to a local Goodwill and unload them? They didn't do that. They went to like some sort of Goodwill distribution center, I believe. And so I don't know where these records are going to end up. They might end up scattered all over the country. They might end up on Goodwill.com at auction. I don't know what they're going to do with them. That's the way Goodwill is. But, you know, I've had a bunch of people saying, hey, can I come pick all the leftovers, all that stuff? First of all, I did get a lot of the, I got pretty much everything that I think that most people would want. And then also, they're gone. They already donated them. They're totally gone. So the next phase in the evolution of this collection being processed is the highly curated section of this gentleman's collection. He's dwindling that stuff down, culling out some of the stuff he doesn't necessarily have to have. But his first initial swipe through the collection, looking through everything, he pulled out anything that he thought he might want for his collection. He wants to, like, his motivation is to curate the best jazz and rock out of this collection, but mostly just jazz. He picked out some really iconic rock stuff, and like if there was 3 copies, he would grab all 3 of them, and then when he goes through those and cleans them and looks at them, he's going to pick one of those to keep, and he's going to sell me the duplicates. So probably not anytime in the next month or two, but maybe sometime next year, he's going to call me for one last trip to go up there and to go, like, buy the rest of his duplicates. Anything he has on that wall, I'm buying. Nothing else is getting donated to Goodwill. It's all top tier, great stuff. It's stuff from like low level jazz stuff, just like, you know, $10 jazz records from $6.99. We call it $6.99 jazz at our shop. All the way up to like the craziest blue notes you've ever seen, all the great impulses, and they're all really clean. So any of that stuff I'm going to be interested in, I'm going to buy. He's got just some mind-blowing psych in there, some mind-blowing jazz in there, all that stuff. So that's the next phase of the trip, of this collection, is to go make another trip. And then also I've had a bunch of people asking me about the 45s. He's not decided what he wants to do about the 45s. I've gone through them briefly. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do about them. But here's the thing, as I said earlier, he's asked me not to share his contact information. Do not message me asking me for this guy's contact information. I'm not going to give it to you. This is a very personal thing for me and for him, where we have a good relationship. We're working together. So we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the 45s. It's a ton of stuff. It's going to take a while to go through. But the 45 is something we've not completely decided on what's going to happen with them yet. We're going to take a lot more time to go through them to figure out what all's even there. I don't even know, like, how much 50s, 60s, 70s stuff is, and how much there is, and then how much 90s, 80s, 90s 45s there are as well. I don't know what types of stuff. I'm just kind of going through there, and it's kind of like the LPs. It's just random stuff. It's just in a box, and you're like, okay. So he's spent some time like cataloging and organizing them and stuff like that. So some of them, maybe half of them are organized, you know, and alphabetized, and then the other half are not. So anyways, we've not decided about the 45s, but I'll let you know when we decide. So that's basically what we did on this trip. I know I didn't get a whole lot of video footage, but this is some crazy stuff that we got that I picked this time. And yeah, it was a great trip. It was a lot of fun. It was grueling. I even looked through all the classical stuff, or most of the classical stuff, and it was just, you know, classical stuff's tough because I'm not interested in it, and you know, but I kind of know what to look for. So anyways, yeah, so again, follow us on Instagram. That's where you get the most up-to-date news, at Noble Records. And then, you know, make sure you're following our Whatnot page if you want to buy any of this stuff. That's where it's all going to get sold at, online. So there will be a lot going out into our brick and mortar store. If you're around the area in North Carolina, you can come dig. But if you're not, check out the Whatnot page. So anyways, thank y'all for watching this video. We'll see you next time.